If I was interested in Orange County history, the written records, the Spanish, only went back about 250 years. Native Americans have been here for at least 12,000 years.
My name is Domingo Belardis. I'm the curator of the Blas Aguilar Adobe Museum. The Juaneño people are the indigenous people of Orange County. They occupied from Long Beach area, Huntington Beach, all the way down into Camp Pendleton, San Mateo, Las Pulgas area, and then all the way into Lake Elsinore. They were the ones that basically lived here. What we tried to do is show the link between the artifacts here and our ancestors that made them. When they made something, they were able to master that, whether it be stone making or basket making.
The pleasure and honor of having one of Blas Aguilar's descendants among us. He is here to share with us another part of Orange County's ancient history, a history often neglected in books. Domingo Belardis, following in the footsteps of his great father, David Belardis, has dedicated his life to keeping Acachemen and Juaneño history and culture alive. When I'm talking about California history, how many of you know who are the Native American peoples of Orange County or of California? And so we go back to the casinos, and that's about it.
And then what I mentioned before about the abalone, they didn't just use it as a bowl, but they also broke it and used it as a pendant. Same thing in this shell. Now the abalone that you see here, the holes for that, they would have been drilled with something like this. So this is what they would use for drilling. This is my abalone that I drilled. Yeah, it's very proud. The Juaneño part, just the way the people were able to live out in the wilderness, and just the way they were able to thrive. So they sewed the belly together. So a lot of the items you see here would have been put into this. You guys need a backpack for next year?
To know about hunting, the plants. Who would know that but a man who had been born and raised on the land like that?
My dad is David Belardis of the Juaneño Band of Mission Indians. And this is a pretty significant gathering of the people. There are 500 people at this gathering, and it's where they honored my dad and declared him chief of the Juaneño Band of Mission Indians. And it's him and my mom, Aurora Rita Belardis. It's a pretty neat photo. You know, we're all here gathered together to show our pride for our heritage. David Belardis is chief of the tribe at the time. This is probably one of the times where the whole group's together. A year after this is when the tribe split because of federal recognition and the casino interest coming in and trying to sign deals with us before we were even recognized, which really hurt the process for us, and ultimately split the tribe.
We entertained Las Vegas gaming interest. We needed to learn about it before we could decide if we were going to ever consider it. And what we learned was that it was illegal for us to even move forward with gaming interests without a land base or a federal acknowledgement.
Federal recognition would have meant our elders would have had care. They would have had some real care in their lives. They would have mattered in our lives. Our young people would have had better chances for scholarships and going to universities because they would have had that federal money coming in.
But it also unfortunately had the effect of different leaders within the community would come up and say, well, I'll do this. I can do it better. I should be the leader and we'll put in the petition. And that started breaking up the community into different political organizations.
In this photo, there are people, when the split came, that stayed with David, and then there are people in this photo that went with the other group. Kind of embarrassing. It'd be, I'll always be the first one to be, hey, let's get together. Let's not let that happen anymore.
The other portion of the tribe that split from us and created an election and, deemed their government valid and our government invalid, they were pro-gaming. They were interested in moving forward. They felt that there was a way to move forward.
If we had gotten federally recognized, with all the ugliness and the division and the turmoil that created before the process of either accepting or denied, and we were denied, it was bad, and I never want to go back to that. And it was like everything got out of control. We weren't respecting each other anymore.
They were all turning in petitions. And the BIA at that point said, we have no way of judging which is the legitimate group. We can't make that call. So we're going to ignore all of you until you get your act together and unify. At which point every group would say, okay, we'll do that. But you should unify with me, not me with you.
It's kind of scary to see that the kids see that there's different groups and they're doing different things. I just hope that they don't think that's the way it is, that everybody should be together and support each other.
And this is what we would use. This is a cave.
Well, with our tribe, it was different because when growing up, it was always one tribe, and then later on, we had the different fractions. So like now, I feel like we don't really have like gatherings anymore like we used to when we were little. Before, we used to have bonfires with my grandfather. Now, I always have to ask my father, oh, is this person with this group, or is it with the bad group? Is it with our group? And then even with our group, since my grandfather died, my uncle's taken over, so I feel like we don't have an identity because we're not all one together.
So anyway, the tribal meeting, all the other thing too, that we've been backed up a month with the federal recognition.
For us and for me, and I know for my dad, that he wasn't looking at, what was this going to gain for him? He was looking at his grandkids and their grandkids. This would have given them a lot.
How do you feel about your father's work?
I feel like it's something that's gonna be lost if he ever does die.
And now I find that our numbers have dwindled because people have walked away, because there isn't going to be that check at the end of the rainbow every month from federal recognition. There isn't going to be a casino, not that I was ever pro-casino. But we've had time, like I said, to take a breather and to really look at who we are. There's very few of us that are left in this community with the continuity that like I have and the Ballardises have. But now what we're doing is we're coming together, we're working closely together, we're recognizing the issues that we can take up and try to make better. So there's a coming together, working together. So this is one time we can gather, we can celebrate who we are as a people, we can remember our culture, our traditions, and our past.
In your compassion, O merciful Father, gather to yourself all your children scattered throughout the world.
We are gathered here today at the Blas Aguilar Adobe after the Mass that we had up on the old San Juan Capistrano Cemetery. Traditionally, we would gather together and break bread and sit and enjoy each other's company and talk about old times. What's unique about this gathering is we have representation from the 3 different Juaneño Band of Mission Indian groups, 84A, 84B, and Chief David Ballardis' group.
The good part about it is you lose the political part of it, and it's more of the social part where you can interact with everybody. You're not worried about the recognition, and you're not worried about the who you're going to vote for and things like that. So this is the part I like. This is more my scene. Thank you. Hold this, my hands. Hold this, my hands.
One person can't do it all. It would take a group of people to make sure that the culture stays alive, to show up and, we can do cultural stuff, make baskets, shoot arrows, or, well, I don't know about that, but that would be the neat thing, the thing that would, make me happy. One yoshe tokaisha, one yoshe tokaisha. Yoko yoshe tamanini, yoko yoshe tamanini, one yoshe tokaisha, one yoshe tokaisha, yoko yoshe tamanini, Yoko Yoshe